Kehoe put in a state that we are not going to support DEI in the state. We're not going to use taxpayer money. We're taking that very seriously. We're not going to do DEI at Missouri State University, and it does not bode well for us to be able to say, oh, now we're going to name it this or that. We are going to serve our students well. We're going to serve all our students and make sure they have a great educational experience. But looking
and if
at
somebody comes in and spray paints something racist or breaks out and drops an N-word, my assumption is at Missouri State there's going to be consequence for that.
There's going to be
Because
consequence.
in real life, you can't go around acting like that.
No. We want everybody welcome. We're going to make sure.
This is not an excuse to do bad actions.
Exactly.
There's still a consequence if you say something. If you drop the N-bomb, you got a problem, right, at Missouri State.
Yeah.
As you would in every walk of life.
Right. We're not going to tolerate that.
Kelton, I really thought that line in Governor Kehoe said the state was really a hat tip to Kelton. The Department of Insurance was a total wreck, just a total disaster. Kelton did an investigation. We called it a game of Clue, but and he found, you took DEI. They didn't have DEI at the Department of Insurance. They had award-winning DEI. But Kelton, through his investigation, ran off the director. She never even lived here. So I guess he didn't run her off. I guess she just quit coming here once a month. And now the new director, I think, has promised to get rid of the John Rehagen, the head of the DEI. I think it's root and branch pulling this silliness out and replacing it with just merit-based. Are you the best for this job? Do you do this job well? Old-fashioned stuff kind of works, right?
Yeah, we'll hire the best and the brightest, and we're doing that right now with the provost search. We have candidates from all over the country, and we are basing it on what have they done and how are they going to add to our campus.
You know what sucks to me is, I got to be honest with you, I really only found out what a provost does about 15 minutes ago when he told me. But if you hire somebody who, let's say you hire an African-American woman, there was a point in this country for the last few years, it's like, oh, it's a DEI hire. But she might have been the best qualified, and she might do a dang good job. Yeah. But there is a little bit of, well, I know what that is, right? Yeah. Now, when you come out and say, no, we're not doing this DEI stuff. If it happens to be a person that's the best for the job, that is one of the box-checking things, well, it's just because they were the best person for the job. I think it actually equips them better when they have to start off with half the people rolling their eyes and saying, I know what this stuff is. I think it actually helps people know this is merit-based stuff. And so whatever you look like, whoever you want to have sex with, whatever your background or decisions are, you got the job because you're the best at it.
Yeah.
And I think, personally, I mean, you look at the Missouri Times. We've never had a male editor. It just happens to be that women have had a better skill set that augments what we needed, and I like the perspective. If that's DEI, then it is, but whatever. But I think I want to make the most money. Yeah. And oftentimes, make the most money hiring a woman. That's just the whole point. It's not about checking a box, except the one in my bank account.
Right.
That's the one I'm worried about. Sure. So I think you've had, just from the Capitol, I was over the Capitol for a couple hours a day. This has been overwhelmingly well received by the people of Missouri's elected representatives.
It has, and we've made the rounds today, and any time that you take the direction from the state, I think it's going to be well received, and we heard loud and clear, 38% of our budget's from the state. We want to be partners with the legislators. We want to be able to offer the best education, and by doing so, we're going to have to partner with the state at all times.
So that 38%, you guys have done very well. It's almost like you got a professional lobbying team up here bringing money back to Springfield. You've done very well recently.
We have a very good lobbying team, that's for sure. If you on our campus, there's construction everywhere. There's new programs everywhere. We've really benefited from the state.
You've got to have the right people in the Capitol to bring home that kind of money, but you also have to have a track record of success. Yeah. The legislators aren't just going to pour money on an institution that's not working. Yeah. You have to have the right people making the ask in the professional way. You have to have engagement from your office. Right. But you also have to be able to produce. Yeah. The state's just not going to throw money to college that's not producing. Right. Unless you're Harris Stowe, then I guess it will. But so what else going on at the college? Tell you what's it like working with Mike Kehoe? You've worked in a couple different states. You've worked with two governors in this state. Tell me about, from your perspective as the president of the college, working with Governor Kehoe.
What really impressed me with him, I met him twice before his inauguration, and then my wife and I came, and we wanted to participate in the inauguration, and then we stood out for 2 hours to get into his house. I walked in, he knew exactly who I was. He's only met me twice. He also knew I worked for Missouri State University, and he knew that we are focusing on agriculture with our new strategic plan and what we're focusing there. And he said, I want to talk to you. He's very personable. He cares about Missourians. You can tell that he wants to do what's best, and he's not afraid to make hard decisions.
And that Schrog family is probably a pretty good connection to go get him on the phone.
Yeah, Jeff Schrog, Governor Schrog on our board, he is fantastic, and he's good friends with.
And really, the ramrod of all that's Mary.
Yes.
I think she's the ramrod there.
She's wonderful. She's wonderful. She's been on our board too, and she's still a huge help to Missouri State.
I'm excited to see what he does in that job. I think if he's fortunate enough to win, I think he's a real community spark plug. Yeah. And I would think be a tremendous partner with the university. He
would. He has been for us so far, and I think his chances are really good. He's very well respected. He's a very keen businessman. He gets out and about.
He should let Mary do most of the talking, but I think I like a shot.
Mary's his secret weapon. There's no doubt.
Well, I got to thank my buddy, my secret weapon, Carl over at High Street Pub. Sent me this terrific bottle of vodka of Trump. Carl, appreciate you watching. I appreciate the birthday present. Also thank our sponsors. We the Courtyard by Marriott. When you come to town, if you're not getting put up at the Courtyard, you should ask some questions.
I've been trying to get in. They're always full.
You got to text me.
I will.
I can't promise you, but I more than once text Randolph, and he's got that one room he'll hold back. And,
okay.
But yeah, you got to get in on the Courtyard thing. You're kind of not doing Jeff City well if you're not hitting that Courtyard. Then in the Great Northwest, speaking of the Great Northwest days are Tuesday here in the capital. We are sponsored by United Fiber, some of the best rural broadband in the state. Wonderful. Let's talk about athletics. Get the bear out here.
Yeah.
You are moving up conferences.
We are. We are accepted to Conference USA last May, and we will be a full member of that conference July 1.
So that's D1 football. That's
the highest level of football. Yeah. We've been D1 in every sport except football. We were D1, but it was at the FCS level. So we're now moving up to FBS. So my goal is to meet Mizzou at a bowl game someday and beat them.
I love it. Shots fired. I love it. But I mean, it is I do think in so many ways, really since Kevin Engler was, I'll remember back in the day, Kevin Engler was up here demanding the name change.
Yeah.
There's been an upward trajectory of Missouri State. And I understand that the point of college is not college football.
Right.
But damn it, I think it really does matter as far as how alumni, how other people view the college. That football team is important to the status of the university and to how people view it. And moving up to Conference USA, that's a legitimate national conference.
Yep.
Now also, I mean, every time you play a big school, since you are on their same level, it's going to be a windfall for the athletics department, right?
It absolutely is. It's a front door. More people are going to notice us, so we're going to be all over the country. If you look at our conference in Conference USA, we're in Delaware, we're in Florida, we're in New Mexico, we're in Texas, we're everywhere. We're in Tennessee, and so kids are going to hear about us, and they're going to say, Missouri State, they played Middle Tennessee State University. Maybe I want to go to Missouri and go to school there. And
I tell you, I know, and I respect the fact the point of college is getting an education.
Yeah.
But I absolutely think it matters to the ability to give that education and the tie-in and the student pride when you have that football team that's playing the top teams in the nation. Yeah. Now, I'm sure it'll take a while to be competitive in that. That's part. You don't go from here to here once. It's a upward trajectory, and I think this is a big part of that upward trajectory.
It is, and it really is. A lot of people think it's just about athletics. If you look at all these teams that are playing FBS football, what are the commercials about? They're academics, and we are some of the most humble people at Missouri State. There's some great things happening. A lot of people don't even know that we have the largest business school in the state of Missouri. Produce more grads, have more entrepreneurism, and nobody knows about it. But now they're going to.
Well, that's right. Football. Because you have a when you're on ESPN, I think
platform.
You get a 30-second spot a couple times throughout the game to talk about the college and tell folks. I agree with you.
In Conference USA, they do something a little unique. They have midweek games in October. And so if you think about
That's
it,
awesome.
it's ingenious because there's no other game in town. And so their viewing numbers are just off the charts. And so Missouri State University is going to have 4 midweek games on ESPN.
That's awesome.
And the whole country is going to see
You can't
this.
buy that.
You can't buy that.
I mean, that type of exposure is not something that you just happen into. You have to. That is a terrific part of a plan. And I tell you, I think you'd be flipping through the channels and see Missouri State on. If you're in Joplin, if you're in Cape Girardeau, if you're in St. Louis, it's gonna have a point of pride. Yeah. I think I think athletics. I understand some folks get a little frustrated because they think it should be more based off of academics, But I think the two are tied together.
They are.
And I think the momentum of the two are tied together.
Yeah.
And it is to me, the Conference USA thing, to being on ESPN.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing. I mean, when the first time those ESPN cameras rolled into Springfield and put Springfield on a national stage, I mean, that's a hell of a deal.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And if you look who we're playing, we're going to USC, playing USC, and then we're coming home and playing SMU at home. These are big time teams.
I mean, if you're Joe Lake and if you're Jay Hahn, I mean, if you're Kevin Engler, these are cool things to be. That's my school.
Yeah.
That's leveling up in a significant way, and I think it's an outstanding thing. Now tell me, I know we're talking about the positives. It's going to have to be some buy-in, right? Alumni, the business community.
Yeah.
You're going to have to, in order to be in that conference, you have to raise those athletic budgets, right?
Yeah, you got to raise the budgets. You got to have NIL. You've got to have great coaches that know how to manipulate the portal and use the portal. And we've got great coaches. This has been the best football season we've had, 8-4. And if you look at the four, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, they were in the Final Four for FCS football. Lost to Ball State, who's already FBS, and that was by 2 or 3 points. Probably should have won that. And then Montana. Montana's a big-time school that we barely lost to. So the momentum has shifted.
Yeah.
We need the fans to come. We had great crowds this year. I think we'll have great crowds next year, but we have to have the buy-in by the city.
I want to be there. When the first night those ESPN cameras come on Wednesday night, whatever night it is,
we'll invite you. We'll get you there.
that is going to be a big moment for the state of Missouri, not just Missouri State. I think it's a big moment for this state.
It really is.
To have a second program on the national stage like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it is going to be, you are going to have to dig in, right? You're going to have people have to open their wallets. I mean, flying to Delaware is a little different and a little different level, and having the production and facilities to have a nationally broadcast game. Those things cost money, real money.
Those cost real money. And so we'll have to renovate our stadium. We'll have to have budgets tweaked a little bit. We have a good plan in place. Right now we have an architect that's looking at Plaster Stadium and what we need to do.
But it'll pay off.
What's that?
I really believe it'll pay off in the long run.
Yeah, it will.
I mean, I know though it's tough now to when it's growing is tough. The growing pains are challenging. But I think it'll actually pay dividends not that far down the road. Right. With how you're able to come together and just showcase that brand in a way that I really think a lot of the folks I just mentioned probably never really. I would be curious if a Joe Lakin or if an Engler really believed when they were in school there, when they were fighting to change the name, that they would see it in Conference USA on national television right out of Springfield, Missouri. I wonder if that would have even been in their dream stretch goals. I doubt it would have, if you know the truth. That's awesome. We'll talk about the women's Lady Bears basketball.
Oh, the Lady Bears.
They've been amazing.
Oh, they almost beat Northern Iowa the other night by 40 points. I mean, they just can't miss. Beth Cunningham I think is one of the best women's coaches in the country. She's just
it's really a renaissance of women's college basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I think Caitlin Clark was the capstone, but I mean, I don't know the WNBA has found a way to capture that success, but to me, women's college basketball is something that was not on my radar at all.
Yeah.
My buddy Rich Callahan made me watch one of the Caitlin Clark games, and I was like, I don't want to do this. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was great. And you guys have one of the top programs at Springfield.
We're beating everybody, and it's we went to overtime the other night with Drake, and it was exciting. And so there's some tough teams in the Missouri Valley. I think we're going to compete well as we transfer to Conference USA because the Missouri Valley has been a top-tier program.
Especially in basketball.
Especially in basketball.
You guys were part of, you talk about leveling up a conference. I think the Missouri Valley really leveled up. But you just can't compare the two. When you jump outside basketball, like in basketball, I think maybe they might have some comparables. But then really, in all honesty, you can't compare the two conferences. You're definitely taking a giant step forward.
Giant step forward, absolutely.
Pressure? Feeling pressure on that?
Oh, of course. I mean, this wasn't my decision. This was my predecessor. Yeah. But, I'm a certified athletic trainer. That's my profession. I love athletics. Both my parents were coaches. I've seen the value of athletics in my own life, my own kids. I've had a son and a daughter that have been collegiate athletes. I have a son right now that's a shot putter and a discus thrower for Brigham Young University, and he doesn't look like me. He's like 6'4", 290. He is my child, though, but but I see the value, and I think we're going to see huge benefits at Missouri State. I really do.
So tell me, you settled in Springfield?
Yes.
You got the house.
We bought a house and
Families moved in.
Yeah,
Nice.
my wife and I, we have 5 kids, but they all are grown up and all
You
over
look a
the
little too
place.
young to have 5 grown kids out of the house.
We do.
So what part of town you lived in?
So we're southern, we're exactly 7 miles from Carrington down National. I know that because my wife and I were training for a marathon, and we knew exactly where 7 miles was.
Yeah, I trained for a marathon a lot too.
Yeah, I can
Marathon,
tell.
beer drinking, marathon. You got it. Have you been to the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame?
No, I haven't, but I want to.
Okay, you got to go.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still have it, but they had a talking Whitey Herzog exhibit.
Oh, okay.
Whitey Herzog is the greatest baseball manager of all
Right.
time, one of the greatest German Americans in history. It is amazing. I'll text you the video. I have a video of it.
Okay.
Whitey, it's a moving, talking, animated Whitey Herzog. One of the greatest things I've ever seen in this state. But talking Springfield, where you like to eat? Give me a couple.
So this is what's interesting is people ask me that, what's your favorite restaurant? And I have to tell them Chartwell's. I have been in so many banquets, I haven't had an opportunity to go really out to eat.
You know,
So I tried Mexican Villa.
I wouldn't have came with Chartwell's.
I tried Mexican Villa because all the alumni are saying
Yep.
you got to go there. It was fine, but I don't know if I have to go back.
It
was
tell
good.
You, I'm a steak eater. I'm a Flame fan.
Yeah.
Love Flame. Wasson had this place, a terrific restaurant, kind of northwest from downtown. Had a great salad bar and a good steak. Wasson. Every time I had dinner with Cinder Wasson, I had it down there. Springfield is fun. We were talking about that.
Oh, there's restaurants everywhere. I just want to try them. Flame, I've been to, and I love it. Yeah.
Can't have a bad meal.
You
at
can't have a
Flame.
bad meal.
Billy Long will tell you that.
Yeah.
Billy said he'd be 20 pounds skinnier if he didn't go to Flame.
I believe it.
Speaking of, that's kind of a cool thing. Springfield guy going to run the IRS.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, I'm by the way, Billy, I'm claiming all the deductions, all of them. But if there's a more perfect person to run the IRS, I don't think I could find who it would be.
Yeah.
Billy Long would be absolutely fabulous. Now, hopefully, businesses will not get bothered by the IRS as much. That's what we're hoping for, Billy. No pressure. But I think Billy will. If you could name a personality that would be good to deal with the IRS, I would name Billy Long. Be outstanding.
Great.
So what else? What's next? You got Conference USA coming up. But what else happened at the college?
So we're working really hard on a strategic plan. So coming in, we had exhausted our last plan. So we've really wanted to create our plan. Presidents come in and they said, this is what we're going to do. That's not my approach. Our approach is, how can we're starting Conference USA. We're doing all these great things. How can we really blow this out of the water? And so we've been starting the strategic planning process. We started having town hall meetings. We're identifying 5 major goals, but we're having literally hundreds of people come to these town hall meetings. And so we're going to identify 5, game changer type goals, and we're just going to get after about July after we figure out what our outcomes are, and we're going to try to become the Missouri State University. I think we've had our name Missouri State for so long, but I don't think we have the swagger or we have the attitude that we can be the Missouri State University, and I think we start competing.
And again, I understand you got to prove it in the classroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%, but that's athletics are part of that swagger.
Yeah.
They just are.
They are.
It just is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I got to show you something. So one of the greatest United States senators and greatest governors the state ever had was a guy named Kit Bond here. I had my buddy Derek Coates, who's just starting over at Kit Bond Strategies. He sent me this. Look at this. Go for it, kid. He sent me a whole thing of Kit Bond memorabilia. He sent me the cookbook, the Bond family favorites. They put together a whole cookbook of stuff around. People forget Kit ran for Congress the first time. Oh, this is the bumper sticker people will remember. This is from his last campaign.
Oh my.
Then you got some Win with Bond, that guy. Then look at, I had to dump this out here. One of the old balloons, Kit Bond for Congress. It's time for a leader. He ran up in northeast Missouri, where he's from, in Mexico. I think he's the Mexican Trump likes, him and Steve Hobbs. Bond for Congress, that's an old one right there. I remember these Bond brigades at Lincoln days.
Okay.
People would be wearing these. I thought they were the cool kids. The Ashcroft people were wishing they could be in the Bond brigade at State Lincoln days. And then I remember these are from his last Senate run. He changed it up to the red, white, and blue at some point. I appreciate Derek. Thank you for bringing this stuff. I promise you I'm going to find a cool way to display it. I'm very eager to do so. President Williams, I sure appreciate the time.
Oh, thank you.
I can't wait to come to Springfield next fall for one of those games.
Okay, we'll get you there.
You're bringing the entire world to Springfield. That's going to be Again, I'm just staggered by how cool that is.
Yeah.
And I've watched people, I'm not an alumni, but I've watched people that are, and the dedication that they have in working for that college, and the hours of trying to convince people to invest tax dollars in that place, and the promotion of it. It is heartening to see those good people's work really sprout up and be an exciting time to be at Missouri State. I want to thank the show this week. We will have Senators Bean and Berger, big Southeast Missouri party. We'll be making fun of St. Louis most of the time this Sunday on This Week in Missouri Politics. It'll be a Missouri heavy show this Sunday. I want to thank you. Appreciate it. I can't wait to come down. We got to find like an off the beat. Crystal Quaid took me to a place, North Springfield, the kind of place the kind of restaurant that has a shuffleboard table in it.
Right.
Had a great cheeseburger. I'll have to text her and get the name of that. But in the meantime, appreciate everything. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
If you need anything, let me know. We've got the bear ready to go.
Right.
Before we leave, Kelton, Super Bowl. The odds are out, right?
I haven't checked yet.
I think the Chiefs. I went to the game Sunday. It was freezing. I'm a Chiefs fan, but I'm not as much of a Chiefs fan as I am a Cardinal fan.
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask you. You've been here long enough now. I'm sure you're a Chiefs fan now.
Yep.
And a Cardinal fan?
I am a Cardinal fan.
Nice.
When
There's
we
only
lived
one
in Indiana,
answer.
that's where we came.
Nice. So the Chiefs are favored by 1.5, Kelton. I mean, even me, I'm taking the Chiefs on that. Kelton runs an illegal sports book.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just, I watched that game Sunday, and there's two things that struck me. I just don't see how the Chiefs leave Arrowhead.
Yeah.
And part of it is the design of the stadium was before the ADA Act, so it's built. I mean, those steps are steep as hell.
It's loud.
And it makes it loud. I watched Josh Allen have to multiple times change his lineup because they couldn't
can't
hear. And I just when Patrick Mahomes, when they were down, he just looks like he's cool.
Yeah.
Even in a tight spot, he looks like he's got it together.
Yeah.
And I just don't know the Eagles have anything like a Patrick Mahomes. If you're down with 2 minutes left, I feel like we're going to win.
Yeah.
Because that guy just does never look rattled. It's the darndest thing. It was an exciting game, and it was a lot of fun. President Williams, thank you so much for the time. I sure appreciate it. Let's get back to your meetings. It has to be today, like a lot of people patting you on the back, right? Saying good job?
They are here.
Yeah,
Yes.
I figured so. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We will see you all Sunday with Senators Bean and Berger for a SEMO edition of This Week in Missouri Politics.